Ladies and gentlemen, after yesterday, I issued a concern about the euphoria about the bull run. A lot of people wrote to me and asked me, so Mr. Lu, when will the bubble burst? When this bull run crash? Today, I'll attempt to answer it. And please watch till the end as I give you my full perspective. Let's watch on, shall we? So today's presentation is about answering the question, when will the bull run crash? As we look into the stock market right now, we see an entire global market hitting historical high. So let's attempt to answer this question. And at this juncture, I'd like to remind everybody that this is a educational video and not telling you when to buy or sell. Definitely not financial advice. Let's go. Yesterday, there's record high again across all major indices. And the Nasdaq 100 broke all-time high again, and the S&P 500 also broke all-time high, and it broke all-time high in a very strong way. So the index hit a growth of 1.8% for the Nasdaq, and S&P 500 hit a 1.2% growth, and we are trailing right now closer and closer to the Tom Lee's prediction of a 7,000 points S&P 500 by the end of the year. I'm very convinced right now that 7,000 points is actually going to be a walk in the park for S&P 500. And I remember he actually said that it could be a low number, meaning that it could end up 7,001, 7,002. I don't know, but that's by looking at the current trend right now, I think it's a strong likelihood we'll reach there. Now, the entire global stock market is rallying. It is not a US market rally, as I said yesterday in my video, and I've analyzed for everybody where the markets are. The whole of Asia is rising and and breaking the glass ceiling, and Europe is also rising phenomenally despite having a shit economy. And United States, of course, is the anchor of this whole bull run as well. So it looks like a coordinated global bull run across all markets, whether is it developing or developed. And I would say that I can understand why the US have a strong market bull run. I cannot understand the rest of the world why they're having such a major bull run. Now, growth in many economies are actually quite modest. So why are all the markets going up? Well, there is a expectation of a interest rate cuts by the Federal Reserve, and as a result, all central banks across the world are potentially going to lower their interest rate or already lowering their interest rate. We see global bonds now rising phenomenally as well, and that's something that is just in its infancy, in my opinion. And we also see that AI boom that really center currently right now in US in a major way is set to have a major renaissance and revolution throughout the whole world. And there is a lot of liquidity across the world now moving from cash, money market fund, fixed D now into equities. So there's a lot of FOMO right now. So many people, from Grab drivers to provision shop owners to men in the streets, are now asking me, Mr. Lu, can buy stocks right now or not? That is really a sign of a very serious fear of missing out. So in one day, the stock market rose phenomenally, and this actually contrasts to some of the other Octobers that historically the stock market might have. And there is a rally right now happening beyond just big tech. The breadth of companies now rising is across many sectors, and that's a sign that the bull market has now gained strength and is like a herd, not just isolated tech bulls. Now, it is not just an AI story. Inflation has risen less than expected, easing the Federal Reserve pressure. We're going to know the Federal Reserve decision to cut rates very soon. And there is a strong earnings result so far, and 87% actually beat their earnings per share estimates, and 83% beat revenue targets. So this is a rally that is backed by strong technicals and strong fundamentals. So a lot of people is asking me, Mr. Lu, I've been waiting for a crash, waiting for a crash. Why won't the market go down? Well, currently right now it is so euphoric that the minute there's some form of dip, the investors rush in to buy, and there is low volatility right now. The VIX is very low, so people are very calm, and there's abundant liquidity because a lot of people are moving out of low interest fixed D and money market fund to move into something higher, and especially when things are going higher, people like to chase it. And of course, we have the good AI story. Now, I want to say this, that human is very funny when it comes to buying consumable goods or things like that. The higher it go, the more people will not buy it. So that forms a downward sloping demand curve. But when it comes to investment item, the more the thing go up, the more people want to buy. So for example, right, condominiums are so expensive right now, people are rushing in to buy. Stocks are so expensive right now, people are rushing in to buy. And when the market was right at the bottom, nobody want to buy, right? So the mentality of human is something that if you have the contrary strategy, you definitely will to make money. So right now the signals are quite muted in terms of the risk. There is very little risk signal, and a lot of the companies are actually performing really very well. The dollar is stable, okay, stable at around 129, 130 for Sing dollar. So a lot of people say the Sing dollar is going to strengthen beyond recognition in this 1 year or so. I don't think so, okay. And I would certainly say that, those who bet against the US, okay, right now have a awakening moment. So answering the question, how to predict the stock market crash moment, right? So I'm going to bring upon this person called Michael Burry. You might have seen his show in The Big Short. I think he's slightly autistic, which he plays to his strength. That he's very focused on the stock market and won't get distracted by anything else. He has got no fear of the normal human towards the stock market, and that plays to his strength as well. So in 2007 and 8 global financial crisis, he made a killing, man. He made a killing. If those that seen his show, you know that he bet against the market and shorted the market in a big way. Now, so everybody will view him as a guru, right? In 2023 and 24, he bet against the market, predicting a crash. And guess what? The stock market went up and up and up. So a lot of people who followed him in the shorts lost millions, right? So I would just say this: even big shots like him, best smart brains like him, could get it wrong. It's really very difficult to time the market. And being an expert, I think he have humbled. Let's take a look at what he says. So this was posted by him then in 2023. He said that sell, right? There were 2 million views, and there's a lot of tweets and retweets and things like that. So there's so much people that saw this, and guess what? They followed them, right? And they shorted the market and things like that. Well, you know what? This is the S&P 500. Okay, this is where he recommend to sell. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Even in this Donald Trump tariff crash, in this short moment, he recovered so fast, right? And now we are hitting all-time high again. So what I'm trying to say is that experts like him cannot predict when the market will crash and can get it wrong, let alone mere mortals like us. Well, the investor psychology is hard to predict, right? First, there's a lot of hesitation, okay, and then they miss all the opportunity. Then they very sian and very tui about it, right? So then after that, they they develop a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out, and then as the market goes up, and then they rush in and they chase the market. And as the market goes higher and higher, more people on the side thought that, wow, this is a market that we cannot miss. And they all rush in. I'm seeing that right now. So I need to warn everybody again, be fearful when other people are greedy, right? This Warren Buffett's a mantra. Actually, he learned this from his Sifu Benjamin Franklin. And I think this is something that we got to be more disciplined and be careful about. So what can cause the crash? Well, it can be anything, but I'll give you some possibilities. Suddenly there's a liquidity shock, okay, in some form, right? A sudden bank suddenly wound up and suddenly there's just some mad rush or whatsoever, or suddenly there's a huge inflation because there's a supply shock of some form, then this could cause the interest rate suddenly spiked up and then the market will crash and crash very badly. This could happen, chances a bit low right now, okay? And there could be an earnings recession. Uh, I think in the near future, probably not. Looks like the tariff issue is probably all over. I cannot foresee in the near future there is a earnings recession. Policy error, especially by the Federal Reserve, it's possible. Instead of uh, instead of loosening, it tighten. I don't see that happening right now by Federal Reserve, but it does. It will be a shock. And then there could be a geopolitical shock of some form, trade war further spiked out again. That is very possible between Donald Trump, who is a bit eccentric, especially with China. But right now, they are best of friends again. There could be some form of conflict somewhere. The key thing is this: what usually caused the bubble to burst or the bull run to crash is something unexpected or unanticipated. So by definition of that, we can't predict it. It could come in 1 month, it could come in 6 months, it could come in 1 year, it could come in 3 years, it could come in 5 years. It is very difficult to predict. I'll be frank with you. I cannot predict. I can make a guess. My son Ben and I has been trying to do some simulations, trying to do some studies on historical case study. Both of us are not getting anything with high confidence. So I wouldn't be so confident that we can predict a market crash with high confidence. So what's my strategy? I've said it again and again. I want to repeat again. Stay invested, right? Bulk of my position are still in equity. Yeah, and I've always stayed invested. I did not bail out, okay, during crashes. I certainly won't bail out during bull runs as well. So bulk of my investments are still in equities and a slightly smaller proportion is bonds and so on. I have my firm foundation in CPF, which is growing very, very strongly, thanks to a powerful compounding engine of CPF interest rates. It continues to compound very strongly, and I've tried to diversify as much as possible globally across many funds and jurisdictions, and more importantly, to bonds as well, and some defensive kind of instrument that is uncorrelated with equities or lesser correlation with it. And I've always tell everybody that I have moved 1/3 of my profit out, and that's a principle that our government does with all its funds. They take out half their profits. Okay, so I don't think there is nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with this strategy. And for those people who can afford to do it, accumulate more dry powder right now. This is a time where potentially you can work hard and save hard, and then accumulate dry powder, because I think a crash will surely come. I just don't know when it will happen. And when it comes, I want to be ready. So the humbling truth is, I really cannot predict the end of this bull run, okay, with accuracy, right? I can feel that for sure it will come. I cannot tell you when it will happen. So, but I can tell you that when it happens is probably an unanticipated moment. So most bull runs end abruptly, despite feeling unstoppable before that happens. Even experts like Michael Burry cannot predict when the market peaks will be. So let alone mere mortals like myself. So I think markets are very emotional and chaotic. Nobody can have this perfect foresight. So maybe our job is not to predict the end, but to prepare ourselves for the eventuality. I can say with 100% certainty a crash will come. Nobody will deny, will contradict my this statement. But I just don't know exactly when. I think the risks are higher right now, but I don't know when the moment will be. So my ending message is this: we are not God. So don't fool ourselves to have his foresight. Many of my friends and fellow community members of the 1865 group are writing to me and say that, Mr. Lu, this thing is happening, so therefore I think the crash is coming soon. Okay? And my answer to them is, I really can't tell. I really can't tell. So maybe having what I call investment humility is a very strong risk management asset. Humble to know that we really don't know. So because of that, then you do whatever you need to do to prepare for that possibility of that day to come. And stay calm and stay disciplined and stay invested, for we never know when the future would be. All right. With this, thank you for watching, and I hope to be able to see you in my message, in my live stream. Hopefully tonight, if I can have the energy after teaching the course. But happy to have you watch my video. Thank you. Remember, hit subscribe, and I'll see you tonight. Bye bye.